Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for the Art of Cross-Selling. My name is Matt Allina, and I am the Life Markets Final Expense Manager. And joining me is Christy Wilbert, the Director of Medicare Marketing. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, everybody.
So, Christy and I have, several weeks ago, we decided to kind of collaborate and combine our efforts into showing Medicare and final expense agents how we can kind of work together to cross-sell the various products. So if you're a Medicare agent, I'm going to show you how you can compliantly cross-sell final expense life insurance to your Medicare clients. And for you final expense agents, we didn't forget you. We're going to show you, Christy is going to show you how you can compliantly cross-sell Medicare products to your clients. Christy and I are both going after the same, or are helping agents that are going after that same segment of the population, which is the senior marketplace. And last year, we put together the 3 R's of the senior market. The first R is relationships. And nobody in the senior marketplace is going to work with you or give you money if they don't trust you. And that's where your relationship building skills comes into play. The next R, number 2, is referrals. We're spending a lot of money. If you're a final expense agent, you're spending a lot of money on final expense leads. Medicare agents, you're probably spending a lot of money on Medicare leads. But one of the things that's is a free lead is a referral. And the senior market, I have known many final expense agents that'll say, if you can establish a good relationship with that senior client, they're going to be willing to open up their address and phone book to give you access to a lot of their friends and their family. So we've talked relationships, referrals, and of course, revenue. We're all in this to help clients and to make money doing it. So with relationships, kind of discussing that, just like Medicare is health insurance designed with seniors in mind, final expense is life insurance designed with seniors in mind. These plans are both designed to take clients with pre-existing medical conditions and also with products that are designed to help stay within their comfortable budget. So that's kind of where the Medicare and final expense marketplace kind of work together. And we're going after that same client base, that 65 and older. And I know that there are clients that can qualify for Medicare and Medicaid depending on some of their pre-existing conditions and their financial status. Same thing with final expense. It starts at younger ages and goes up to older ages. And we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. With referrals, that's the second R in the 3 R's of the senior marketplace. You want to give your clients more reasons to call you and to refer your friends and family to you. So if you're doing Medicare, if you explain to your clients that you can help them with other services, whether you're an expert or not, that's not the question today. When you partner with us here at URL, we're going to give you the tools and the resources. We're going to give you basically a script on how you can cross-sell life insurance and final expense. Annuities, long-term care, the senior ancillary stuff. We handle all of that here for you. So to give your clients more reasons to give your name to other friends and family, it all comes full circle. And of course, when you do this and you're expanding your marketplace for final expense agents offering Medicare, Medicare agents offering final expense and annuities, it's naturally going to increase your revenue. And by doing that, you're also giving your clients the peace of mind. So Medicare, life insurance, you're offering your clients peace of mind. With Medicare, you're giving your clients the ability to know that if they get sick, they're going to be taken care of. Their Medicare plan is going to help them. They can go and see their doctors. And with life insurance, it does the same thing. When they pass away, they know that their family is going to be taken care of. So there is a ton of opportunities. And Christy and I are both going to be discussing the various opportunities, and really the numbers are going to tell the story. Christy has some really neat slides that she'll get into here in a few minutes. But right now, there are currently 48 million Americans aged 65 years and older. And by 2060, that number is expected to grow to 98 million Americans. That is more than double the number of people that are ages 65 and older today. A senior's biggest concerns, if you were to ask a senior citizen, somebody that's 65 years of age and older, or somebody that's aging is getting older, that is in that Medicare final expense realm, what is their biggest concern? Well, one of those concerns would be dying. Another concern is healthcare, getting sick. But finances, that is the biggest concern to a senior citizen. Finances kind of encompasses healthcare and dying. People don't want to outlive their money. And if they were to get sick, they're going to run through their financial nest egg rather rapidly. Or if they were to pass away and they don't have a financial nest egg, their family is going to be stuck having to pay those last expenses. So with the art of cross-selling, we're going to get into the introduction and opportunities in final expense. So for you Medicare agents on the call today, this is for you. We get asked from time to time, what is the average cost of a funeral? And when you add it up with the funeral director services, the casket, embalming, blah, 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 you're looking at between $9,000 to $10,000. That is bare bones, no extra frills. That's just basic, a basic funeral. And there's a lot of other fees and stuff like that that get into it. But $9,000 to $10,000, that is a lot of money to some of our clients. And you can basically, some of us, I even will joke about this, I can't afford to die, so I'm going to live forever. But when you really look down at it, or you look at it, you've established a relationship with that Medicare client so that they can go to their doctor, or if they happen to go to the hospital, that they're taken care of. But by taking care of your client, one of those things that you might also want to consider is taking care of their family. If they don't have any money, their family is going to be stuck paying those funeral expenses. When there isn't a life insurance policy, a lot of people go to those social media like GoFundMe pages. If you were to go to GoFundMe, and this is a tool that you can use, it's free. Take your laptop with you when you talk about life insurance and ask the client how they plan on paying for their final expenses. And some people are going to say, I don't have the money to do it. So the family's going to set up a GoFundMe page. If you were to type in the search for people who are looking for money for a funeral, it'll show you how many people are looking for money for a funeral. Now, when I did this several months ago, this is kind of an old slide, there's over 2.1 million people looking for money to pay for a funeral. You can avoid this. Your clients can avoid using GoFundMe by getting a life insurance policy. That is the solution. And the thing about a final expense life insurance policy is that it does not have to cost a lot of money. Most of these plans are going to cost around $1 a day, $30 a month. And you can also set it up where the son or the daughter or the grandchild or niece or nephew, somebody is the payer if they don't have the resources. That way, the person that is going to be responsible for paying for that funeral and those last expenses is going to have the financial resources to do that. So what are some of the advantages of a life insurance policy? For those of you that aren't familiar with life insurance and what some of the advantages are, life insurance passes, the benefits from a life insurance policy passes right from the company to the beneficiary. Uncle Sam does not touch a dime of it. It's tax-free money. It also avoids probate. So the money goes right to the beneficiary. The beneficiary can use that money as they see fit, and you can avoid attorneys. So you can basically eliminate Uncle Sam, eliminate the courts, and eliminate attorneys. You can make sure that none of those people are getting any more money than they need. When you ask somebody, what's the reason for purchasing life insurance? According to a 2017 LIMRA Insurance Barometer study, 85% of the people that bought life insurance cited that the reason they bought it was to cover burial and other final expenses. That's the number one reason why somebody is buying life insurance in the country today. But there's also a misconception that a final expense life insurance policy is only designed to pay for funerals. That's not the case. It can help with paying off medical bills. It could pay off the mortgage, or at least help the family stay in that home so they don't have to do a quick sale to get out of that house. It could be an income replacement. It could pay off credit card debt. It could pay off car loans, or there's no denying that relationship between a grandparent and a grandchild. You can leave that money to a grandchild. There's so many different uses for a final expense life insurance policy. So when you nail down what is a final expense life insurance policy, they're budget-friendly plans with liberal underwriting with most of these plans, where a client can have pre-existing medical conditions like heart attacks, cancers, strokes, diabetes. They could be significantly overweight. We have a plan for each of those people. And they're, like I said, they're budget friendly. So they're about $30 a month minimum. It's more of a budget driven sale. So you can ask a client, what can you reasonably afford each month for this plan? Plans are issued quickly. There are no medical exams for this. It's basically yes or no questions on their previous medical history, and the company does the rest. They check the prescription drug records, and they check MIB. That's it. Some of the companies will do phone interviews and stuff like that, but these plans are issued quickly. And because they're issued quickly, you get paid quickly. A lot of these carriers will pay daily or even weekly commissions. And these plans are easy to explain to the client, and they're easy to understand. And if you're not sure how to explain it, talk to me. I'm here to help you with that. So what's the target market for a final expense life insurance policy? It's for clients ages 50 to 80. The sweet spot's actually 65 to 75, and most of the plans start at a death benefit of around $5,000, and they go up to $25,000 or more. Now, there are some companies that'll do less than $5,000, and there are companies that are going to go well above $25,000. These are whole life insurance policies, which means that the rates are locked in, and as long as the client pays those premiums, they're not going to outlive that coverage. And like you've seen on commercials with Alex Trebek and some of the others, coverage for as little as $1 a day. And I'll tell you that with our portfolio of over 20 different final expense carriers, we're going to get your client the biggest bang for their buck. So how can you cross-sell final expense life insurance to your Medicare clients? For a couple of years now, we have had what we call our Medicare intake form. This is a way for you to compliantly relay the information to your client that you can help them with other services. So when you are on a Medicare appointment, hand this form over to your client. It'll let them know that you can help them with IRA or CD rollovers or CD alternatives. That's an annuity. You may not know how to do it. We'll coach you. Same thing with life insurance or final expense or long-term care or some of the other ancillary products out there. This is a way for you to relay the information to your client that you can help them with other services, and then you can revisit them at another time. You have to wait 48 hours. Medicare agents, you have to wait 48 hours to be able to cross-sell any product to your Medicare Advantage clients. So now that we've talked about the opportunities in final expense, I'd like to hand it over to Christy Wilbert to discuss to our final expense agents the opportunities that are available in Medicare.
Thank you, Matt. Nice job. I just want to comment on that GoFundMe page. That was extremely powerful. I can't believe how many people have pages up. I mean, that's a really nice tool for the agents to use to just prove their point. It's very sad.
It is very sad.
And then to all of you, before Matt and I jumped on this webinar this morning, we did talk more about that form. I mean, that is the best thing we've created to help you cross-sell. We understand that it's difficult when you are working with Medicare clients to cross-sell other products because of the compliance issues, and this form takes that all away. So you're welcome to leave any information. You just have to wait to discuss it. So like Matt said, the 48 hours, but use the form. It's very helpful. But we'll get started today on the Medicare stuff for you life insurance agents. Why sell Medicare? Opportunity, necessity, and profitability. So as Matt actually mentioned, there are a bunch of people turning 65 every day. There's 10,000 right now. So there is abundance of leads. You know, what's the number one thing you're always asking for any sales? It's, you know, how do I get leads? How am I writing more business? With Medicare, it is unbelievable how much opportunity is out there for you. You're never going to run out of clients. And there's enough to go around for everybody. And as Matt actually mentioned as well is the referrals. So in that demographic, you know, once you're in, you're in. I mean, these people are really talking about their agents. They're getting together at church, or they're getting together at their aquatics aerobics, and they're talking about their meeting with their agent and what their agent was able to help them with and how they were able to save money. They all like to brag about that stuff. So the demographic really does its own at building your book of business. And then necessity, of course. Luckily in Medicare, it's something you need. There are lines of business out there like life insurance. We'd like to say that it is a necessity, but people do choose not to purchase it. Medicare, you need it. You get A and B through your Social Security, but there's huge holes in your coverage where you can go bankrupt or really risk financial loss if you don't purchase an additional policy. And there's policies out there for $0, so there's no excuse why you shouldn't be purchasing something. And then profitability. Commissions and renewals are for the life of the policy. So I know a lot of life agents have put Medicare into their offerings because of that reason. Life insurance is great money up front. You get paid fast, right, Matt? I know a lot of the agents comment on how fast they can get those commission checks.
Yep, absolutely.
And then
as soon as the policy is placed, within 48 hours usually.
Right. And then with Medicare, you have that stream. So for the life of the policy, you're going to continue to get renewals, which is big bucks. And then I just wanted to go over some statistics with you. 78 million baby boomers will become eligible over the next 20 years. So that's just another example of opportunity in the marketplace. 53 million people are currently enrolled in Medicare of some sort. 40% of those people are enrolled into a Medicare Advantage plan. And further along in the presentation, you'll see that Medicare Advantage plans are becoming more and more popular. So 40% is a big number, but there's still 60% there that you have opportunity to sell. And then 25% of those people have an annual income of less than $14,000. There are plans out there for people with low income that you still get paid the same commission on the big sale items. So it's really important that those people understand that they have access to health coverage that is helpful for them and helpful for your pockets. And they really need your assistance because they're not aware of it. And then here's just some key points, some really generic information about Medicare. Who are your prospects? Who's eligible for Medicare? So the people turning 65 or retiring, so they could be 67, 70, however long they're working till now. And then they will get a special election period into Medicare when they retire. If they're losing their group benefits at any time after they turn 65, that is eligibility for Medicare. And then if you're under 65 or over and receiving Social Security disability for 2 years, you'll automatically be enrolled in Medicare as well. As I mentioned, Social Security does provide you with Medicare Parts A and B. A is your hospital insurance. Typically, it's free if you've worked for 10 years or 40 quarters. If you've worked less, it is prorated. And then your Part B medical, that does come with a premium that's based off of your income. This year, the norm is $134 a month. So not too expensive, much cheaper than group health plans as you're aging. And then you have two options for additional coverage, Medicare Supplement and a prescription drug plan. It is two separate plans. And then you have the Medicare Advantage plan where it encompasses it all into one. So as Matt said earlier, Medicare is a health insurance program, and it does not cover all of your health care costs. There are, things that do run you out of pocket. There are ancillary products that are available to cover those out-of-pocket expenses like dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity, cancer plans, DI. So we can go over that with you if you're interested in learning. You have choices on how you get coverage. There's no cookie cutter plan that's best for everyone. You'll talk to individuals that, I have this plan, it's the best, it, covers everything. Or you'll have agents out there that say, I only sell Medicare supplements, you don't need to learn Medicare Advantage plans. We strongly, strongly encourage an agent to be an educator with Medicare. There's a lot for a beneficiary to understand. Changes are really happening as they're aging into this different kind of health insurance. And we feel that it's your ethical need to explain all the products available to them. Number one, so you don't lose your client to somebody else who did take the time. And number two, it really should be the choice that they make on how they want to protect their finances and their health care. There are programs for people with limited income, which we mentioned, and decisions are time sensitive. So you do have specific enrollment periods and dates that you have to abide by. And if you miss those opportunities, you could be subject to have no health insurance for a long period of time until the next enrollment comes around, and you can have penalties that you'll have to pay for a lifetime. So having an agent on, representing you and giving you all this information when you are Medicare eligible is super important. And financial effects. So you're the life insurance agent. I'm sure many of you do financial advisory type things with the clients. They're going to think it's amazing that you're going above and beyond and making sure that their health care is also part of the discussion, because it does have huge financial effects if they're not covered properly and prepared for worst case scenarios. They should be preparing a monthly budget for their plan that they want to pay, and drugs can become a huge concern, so that should be part of the conversation. Original Medicare has huge gaps. Part A deductible that you have to pay per benefit period, which is every 60 days, is a little over $1,300. And then the Part B has an annual deductible of $185. So there are those risks. And then still, if you're on a plan, you have, your normal health insurance stuff. You have your premium plus your copays, coinsurance, deductibles, and drugs like we mentioned. The big difference between Medigap and Medicare Advantage, Medigap is a Medicare supplement, is one, Medigap you pay ahead. So you are going to pay, it covers the gaps in original Medicare, which is A and B. And you pay a higher premium to have more coverage. So it is for those that really want to have that protection and that peace of mind. They're okay paying the higher premium in case something catastrophic would happen down the line. So we say it's pay ahead because you're paying it no matter what. And then the Medicare Advantage plan is pay per use, or pay after the fact, because you'll have a lower premium, some cases $0, where you'll just have your copay and deductible that you have to take part in once you use your coverage, so you're paying later. Out-of-pocket maximum protection, that's on the Medicare Advantage plan, so you are protected there, works like a second deductible. And then what I mentioned earlier about the possible penalties, that goes on your Part B and your Part D. So Part B, again, is your medical insurance. And if you don't enroll in that when you're supposed to, you will get a penalty. And same thing with your Part D, which is your drug insurance. Okay, so hopefully you want to get started selling Medicare now. These are the 5 easy steps. Number 1 is get contracted with the right carriers. All the carriers have come out with their sneak peek for the 2020 benefits. So if you're interested in getting contracted, you can call me or my team, and we'll go over the right carriers for your area that you live and based off of the providers in that area, the big hospitals and such. And then you have to complete annual testing and certification. So the annual testing, we hear a lot of muffling about that, and that's one of the deterrents from people selling Medicare. But I promise you, it is not difficult. It's called the AHIP. It's 50 questions. It's open book. It can't get any easier. It's not like the insurance test where they're trying to mess you up and they're asking you double negatives and 2 are right and 1 is better. It's really just to see that you understand the basics of Medicare and what you're selling to the senior marketplace. And then certifications, they're short and sweet. Each carrier has one that you have to take in order to sell their product. And it's just basically product information, so you know what you're selling and they understand that you understand. And then number 3 is ordering sales materials. Packets come in this time of year. Our poor Betty, our mail lady, her whole office is covered in them. So we're happy to get them to you when you need them. They're ordered online. And also we actually just rolled out an enrollment tool platform called Medicare Now, where you can enroll your clients compliantly over the phone. So if you don't want to order any kits and you want to be paperless, we give you the full capability to do that, which is wonderful. Matt and I actually have created a beautiful training library that's out on our website. All of our webinars and other training materials and quick reference guides are out there. So I highly suggest that you review those. They're there to help you. And then 5, start marketing. Get out there, get your leads, get selling. Just to talk about compliance a little bit more with marketing, we hear the scary, I don't want to get in trouble. I heard Medicare is really tough on marketing, what we can and can't do. In my personal opinion, I say follow the yellow brick road. CMS is telling you what you can do, so just do that. There's no reason to stray off the yellow brick road because we all know what happens when you do. So the things that they tell you are mailers. They call it grassroots marketing. It's very important to build up your brand. Just think of your name and your agency as your brand, and it has to get known, especially in your area and in your marketplace. So there's generic mailers that you can do. We can work with you with vendors that we've worked with and endorsed highly because they do a great job. And there's personalized mailers that you can do where you're buying just demographic name and lead lists. So for example, you can work with one of our vendors and say, I want people 6 months out from turning 65 up to age 70. So I can market to them for AEP, but I'm going to create my own mailer because I want my picture on it and I want them to know my story and how I'm involved in the community. We've seen that work the best. So our top producers are doing those personalized mailers and on a consistent, regular basis. And then you also have carrier-specific mailers. So a lot of the carriers, the big national names, have CMS-approved materials out there that you can use, and they're editable, so you can put your name, address, phone number, picture, agency name, logo, anything you want on there that it gives you the ability to do, and print them for free. I mean, you're only taking care of the print costs. So those are very nice, easy, accessible for you. And then, of course, there's always leads. There's online leads. We work with some great vendors like Quote Wizard and Benepath. And then there's Facebook leads. So there's always leads available for purchase. And then, of course, being an agent, you know this one, get involved. You're not going to do anything sitting behind your desk in the office. You have to get out. You have to take advantage of things going on in your community, set up those tables, be a vendor at events, do seminars, be an educator, be that source of reference or resource for your clients. For us, a lot of carriers create opportunities for AEP. Things are closed since we're so close right now, but to keep in mind for next year, we have the Walmart stores are participating where you can go and sit at the Walmart stores and get in front of clients. Wegmans, CVS is doing something with one of the carriers. So great opportunity if you don't know where to start or you don't have a client base to work during AEP, they give you these great opportunities. And then Maybe you don't want to handle it. Maybe you're selling life insurance and you're so busy that you don't have time and you don't want to get into Medicare at all. Please don't let those opportunities pass you by. We want to make sure that if you have an opportunity with a client to sell another line of business, that you're taking advantage of that. Because everybody knows the more you have with one client, the better your retention is going to be. It's a sticking point with the client. So let our team be an extended arm of your services. We're always here to help you. There's 2 ways you can submit an Orion referral to us. One is just to have your client call us directly. Everybody on my team is licensed and can handle the sale on your behalf. And just to clear your mind, we make sure that that client knows that we are working with you. If they have any questions about any other line of business, we will refer them back to you for that. We're only helping them with what you've asked us to help them with. Or you can submit a permission to contact. And I have an example of the permission to contact form. It's just their name and information. They're signing it, saying that we're able to reach out to them. Medicare rules say that we just can't cold call clients. So we do need their permission to call them. And then the form has a place for you to put your information as the agent. So we know that you're the Orion agent that gets the commission when we make that sale. And if you have any questions on that more, please feel free to reach out to me. We can go over commission splits and so forth. And I thought no better way to end than some Medicare news. So if you are not selling Medicare and you have clients just asking you about things, you can keep up with the news. We do have our annual enrollment period coming up. It's October 15th through December 7th every year. This is just the one time that people on Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans can switch to a different carrier or a different plan within the same carrier. We do have a lot of disruption going on in Central PA with Community Health Choices rolling out. What Community Health Choices is a organization that's trying to help the disabled and low income people to get back to work or create a healthier atmosphere for themselves. So it's kind of taking Medicaid to a whole new level. And it's going to be run by private insurance companies instead of the government, which should be nice. They already rolled it out in Pittsburgh. They already rolled it out in Philadelphia. So we're the third region to have it. So they've worked out a bunch of kinks, and I know it's been going over really well. 2020, so next year, we will have Medicare Supplement Plan C and F going away. What that means is that if you're newly eligible for Medicare starting January 2020, those plans will not be available to you. If you were eligible 10 years ago, you still have the option to buy those plans when you will be grandfathered in. We do assume rates are going to go up. We've already seen a few of the carriers send out rates that will be increased. I mean, one of the carriers was 12%. So if you are a Medicare agent, I would highly suggest that you reach out to your clients and make sure they're aware of this change and try to re-quote them onto a different plan. Lowering drug costs. That has been in the news a lot, especially with the upcoming elections. So just so everybody knows, the Medicare Modernization Act of 2003 is the law that established the Part D benefits known as the non-interference clause. So that stipulates that the government may not interfere with negotiations between drug manufacturers, pharmacies, and the PDP sponsors. So basically, Medicare contracts with private plan sponsors, so the carriers, to provide prescription drug benefits and give plans authority to negotiate the drug prices with the pharmaceutical companies. And then they establish the formularies, which is the drug list, and how you're going to manage the tools and control costs. Well, a lot of this is changing because people want the government to be involved in the negotiation of drug plans, which is really interesting. So proponents of the change, they want to give the government authority for the prices to provide leverage needed to lower drug costs, particularly for high-priced drugs for which there are no competitors, because they feel like when there's no competitors, there's like no glass ceiling. They break right through it. You know, the prices gets way too high. And where private insurance plans, they have less room to be able to negotiate lower prices. And opponents counter that the system of private plan negotiation is working well as is, and that the government involved in price negotiation could dampen incentives for some pharmaceutical companies to invest in research and development. So they're nervous that it would deter the growth in the drugs that we're seeing come onto the marketplace. What has changed for 2020 with the drugs is that the donut hole for generic drugs and brand name drugs were closed. Now, when they say closed, they mean that the beneficiary is responsible for paying 25% of the cost for the prescribed medication from the time they meet the deductible until reaching the out-of-pocket spending limit, which is much lower than what it's been in the past. And they say it's not going to go any lower. 25% is closed. And beneficiaries no longer have to choose between expensive medications that work versus medications that cost less. So they're trying to take money off the table during the donut hole and have the patient take what's going to work best for them. And then Medicare for All, I'm sure you've heard a ton about this in the news. It's another one of the big debates for the upcoming election talk. What is a single payer healthcare system? So it's a type of universal healthcare financed by taxes that covers the cost of essential healthcare for all residents in the United States and managed and run by one entity, such as the government. So there's a lot of confusion about Medicare for All. The two parties don't even agree on what it entails, if it's Medicaid, Medicare Advantage plans. No one really has it figured out. The majority of the Democratic Party believe that something needs to change in the healthcare system, but they also believe that we do not need to get rid of private insurance companies, which is great news for us as agents. In my personal experience with Medicare, we have seen the government pulling out of their responsibility. I mentioned a lot of things in this news, like CHC taking over, which is private insurance companies taking over Medicaid management. We have Plan CNF going away, which is run by the government. So it looks like they're giving up responsibility. So working with those carriers, I know they're happy the Medicare publicity that they're getting, and they're confident that they won't be pushed out of the marketplace. But if you want to hear more about Medicare for All, please feel free to attend our Medicare Connections conference. It's on September 4th at the Hershey Lodge, and listen to our guest speaker, Janet Trautwein. She's an executive VP and CEO of NAHU in Washington, D.C., and she's a healthcare expert. She's been traveling and speaking around the world about single-payer health systems. So I'm personally super excited to hear her speak. Karen McDaniel, my co-director, and I heard her speak last year at a Medicare conference, and she was phenomenal. So we're looking forward to that.
Wow, that was a lot, Christy.
Sorry.
So for you final expense agents, I'll tell you, you're in great hands. If you ever decide to venture into the Medicare world, Christy and her staff are very well informed. They'll keep you well informed. They're very knowledgeable about the things that are going on in Medicare. And they have so many different tools and resources at your fingertips that are at your disposal. I encourage you to definitely you take us up on the offer. This is just a way for you to expand your revenue. It's a way to expand your client base. And let's face it, for final expense agents, you're spending a lot of money on leads already. These are leads that you have already spent money on. They're your leads. So why not try to make a little more money off of those leads by creating a stronger business relationship with those clients and helping them with their healthcare costs, and vice versa. Medicare agents, I know you're spending a lot of money, and you're sitting on a large client book of business that you could definitely close the door on your competition from coming in and trying to cross-sell other products and services. That we have the tools and resources that are available to help you keep that client from straying, basically. So if you do have questions, I encourage you at this time to start typing those questions. We'll read those questions aloud here. And I do have some questions that I've put together for Christy and vice versa. So for final expense agents, questions for Medicare, these are some of those FAQs that you'll get. So Christy, how can an agent specializing in final expense cross-sell Medicare plans to their clients effectively, and I don't even think the word is effectively, but where they're compliant, that they're not going to get their hands slapped for saying to their final expense client, hey, in October is Medicare season, would you like me to come back and visit with you? Is it one of those permissions to contact forms, or can they just say that at a final expense sale, at the sales table? What can they do?
That's a great question, Matt. I think the best way to go about it is use the form that you've created. So if you're on a life insurance appointment, have the client fill out the form of other lines of business that they're interested in learning more about. Walk them through the form so they're seeing everything that you're willing and able to help them with. Another thing would be, your book of business is your gold mine. I would definitely this type of year either send a letter to your clients or make sure that you're reaching out to them and making them aware that that is something that you can help them with during open enrollment that's coming up here in October, because they're going to start getting hit with other mailers and advertisements from other agents. So if they can work with somebody they're already working with, they'll already have that comfort level with you and decide to go with you.
Okay, so I'm a final expense agent. Do I have to get certified to sell all Medicare plans or just some of them? What would be the steps that I would need to take if I already have my health? I know I need a health insurance license. So if you don't have a health insurance license, we do have some other opportunities for you through our Orion program. But can I sell a Medicare supplement like the ABs and so on? Go ahead.
The A and B comes from Social Security, but the plan letters through Medicare supplement, some of the carriers do allow you to sell it without being certified or taking the AHIP, that annual test. The majority of the carriers, Medicare Advantage, prescription drug, and some MedSup do require you to get certified. So the majority, yes, you do have to get certified, or you can use our Orion platform.
So I think we've already covered question number 3, which is what can an agent do if they don't want to go through the licensing and certification process? And the answer is the Orion program. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple of slides here. So for final expense, questions that will get asked from time to time: how can a Medicare agent offer final expense plans to their clients? There isn't a certification process per se. You do have a licensing process if you aren't already contracted with final expense carriers. But with that being said, we do have that intake sheet that we discussed earlier. It can be tailored to you and to your agency, so you can brand it to you and your agency. Another question is, what tools and resources do you have to help Medicare agents expand their services? In addition to the intake form, we do have other scripts. We have turnkey letters, turnkey brochures that you can send out to your clients. So if you're a Medicare agent and you're running around with your head cut off, like a chicken with its head cut off during AEP, take a breather, put your feet up a little bit, have a few adult beverages if that's your choice, and then revisit them. We have letters that are designed that to go direct. It's direct marketing to your Medicare clients. It basically starts off by thanking them for allowing you to help them with their Medicare services, and that you hope that they're enjoying their plan. And then it also then talks about the importance of life insurance. So am I non-compliant by cross-selling Medicare clients and other service, selling my Medicare clients other services? No, but there is that golden rule of 48 hours. Do you offer any product and marketing training? Absolutely. We do webinars just like Christy does on the Medicare side of the house. We do routine training, marketing webinars, and we do one-on-one training as well with the staff here that we can help you become very knowledgeable of the different final expense plans, or any department here, even if it's annuities or long-term care, or some of the other ancillary products. We will hold your hand, we will guide you to help you offer other products and services. And again, if you don't want to go through the hassle of getting contracted to sell final expense or any of our other services, utilize our Orion referral services. July, we just did a Orion Referral Awareness Month. It was very successful. Many agents that did not want to go through the hassle of getting contracted, or they didn't want to have to brush up on their knowledge of different products and services, and they wanted to still maintain and retain that client and gain that additional revenue boost, Orion is the way to go. We will work on your behalf. We're basically an arm of your services, and we will help you get that sale. We communicate with you from every step as to where we are with the marketing, where we're calling the client, where we're completing the application, and when that policy is in place, or that client has the services that they're requesting. Now, Christy had mentioned that we do have an upcoming Medicare Connections conference. It is September 4th at the Hershey Lodge and Convention Center. We've been doing this for several years now. It is a huge success. So if you are a Medicare agent, you will want to get signed up on this thing rather quickly. Christy, are there still seats available?
Yep, it looks like it's almost 90% full. So we had about 315 agents there last year. We're looking to get 350 this year.
It is a full house and lots of great information. It's really it's kind of neat because you get to see all of the other names and faces that are doing Medicare or looking to do Medicare. There's a lot of excitement there, and I know that by December everybody is dragging, and you're ready to put on the orthotics because your feet are on fire from running from appointment to appointment. And you know, the hair that you had at the beginning of October is gone by the end of December. I get it, but we're here to help you with all of that. So I know we covered a lot, and I know there's a lot of questions coming in, and we're going to get to those questions. But here's our contact information, just so you have it. Our toll-free number is 800-926-8875. Christy's extension's 152. I'm extension 141. And let me just open it up here for the questions that have come in. So Vincent asked, do you need to be contracted with Orion to submit a referral for Orion to contact the insured? I'll answer that question. It's basically no. Orion is just a referral platform that we have established here to allow you to help branch your services and expand your services. So there isn't a particular Orion licensing. You do need to be contracted with URL, and we need to have your licensing information on file because we do pay commissions, and we pay them directly to you. So we do need to have all of that on file. Stephanie says, Matt, when bringing up the topic of final expense life insurance, a common reply I receive is that they plan to use money from their savings account to pay for their funeral, or they have prepaid for their funeral. What is your suggested reply to this? If they have the financial resources to do that, then there really isn't a reply to that. One of the things, though, that you might want to protect them is with any downturns in the marketplace, if they have their money tied up in different financial savings vehicles, that if there is a down market that they could lose some of that money, that's an opportunity for annuities with Joe Corio and his staff. There are life insurance policies out there that can also help them with some of their living benefits, critical, chronic, and terminal illness benefits. So if they happen to go into a long-term care facility, that could be very expensive as well. And so there are still some needs there. A final expense policy is really for people that don't have a lot of money in the bank. They're basically living paycheck to paycheck or on Social Security. They're on a fixed income, so they don't have a lot of financial resources. But people that have financial resources, final expense is probably not going to be their thing, but there are other life insurance products out there that could help them protect their income. If they've already prepaid for their funeral, great for them. Sometimes you have to look into when they prepay, if they're paying the funeral home. One of the drawbacks to that, Stephanie, is that let's say they're paying the funeral home $50 a month and they die 3 months in. That means they've given the funeral home $150. And let's say the services are $10,000. The family is going to have to make up the difference. So there's $150. The family's going to have to make up the difference. So there are some prepaid funeral plans where they've contacted the funeral home. They're paying installments. And, if they were to pass away 3 months or even a year down the road, they probably have not paid the services in full. So somebody's going to be responsible for that. A life insurance policy is going to, whether you live 3 months from now, 6 months from now, if you have a death benefit of $20,000 and you paid only $1,000 into it, $10,000 is still being paid out, and it is tax-free money. So I hope that answers your question. If there are any other questions, feel free to ask. We'll be happy to answer them. And again, a lot of us have questions after we part ways, so have our contact information is on your screen. And again, our toll-free number, if you don't already have it, it's 800-926-8875. Christy's extension is 152. My extension is 141. And I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. All great questions. So I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody's time. Christy, thank you very much for all the information that you gave us. And I know this is the calm before the storm, so hang in there.
Thank you so much. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will talk to you all very soon. We look forward to working with you. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.